So after hemming our sleeve hems, we will now need to attach our sleeves to our bodices. Now we're also going to do a French seam here, and it's going to be a little bit odd pinning this one together, and I find it's best to start along your joins. So first join up those seams at the bottom of your sleeve and bodice areas, and then you'll just need to pin carefully all the way around your sleeves, and it will be a U-shape seam that we'll be sewing. So once we've pinned our sleeve to our bodice, and that's wrong sides facing, so we'll be sewing the right on top of the right side, we will also need to sew along carefully using the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Take care not to run over your top while you're doing these stitches, as it's easy for the top to bunch up here, and unpicking is always a long, tedious job, it seems. So I'm just carefully moving the top around as I'm sewing, so that I do not run over the rest of the bodice. So your seam will be U-shape. Sure if you can see it terribly well, but it's U-shape all the way around, and we'll just need to trim back to a 1/4 inch seam allowance and press. So I've pressed my seams along the edges of the bodice and sleeves, and I'm going to be now sewing from the wrong side along that pressed seam. And again, just be careful with the U shape. Keep to the 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm just being careful to check that none of the sleeve has been folded underneath while I'm stitching this piece. So if all has gone to plan, your sleeve will now be attached to your bodice, yay, like so, and on the inside you'll have your lovely French seam. And so I'll just press that, and we go ahead and sew our second sleeve from the inside again. After completing the French seams on our sleeves, we now need to press our neckline, and we will need to fold over this hem approximately 1/2 inch and press right the way around. Oh, plenty of steam. This hem will also be used to thread our elastic through to create our neckline. You can see I do have a little bit of an uneven edge there, but we can easily tuck that away now. And again, I'm just going to fold it over another 1/2 inch. Until it's all pressed right the way around. Again, I'm doing it on an odd angle. It's a little bit easier when you're not facing a camera. Right, so all pressed, and we'll just need to pop a few pins in, and then we'll stitch our neckline. So we've just pressed our neckline, and I've just put some pins in there to hold it down, and this is the perfect opportunity to put a little tag in the back of your blouse if you have tags, or a little piece of ribbon if you want to mark the back of your blouse. And we're just going to sew along the neckline approximately 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, and you will need to leave a 1 inch gap so that you can thread your elastic through after you've sewn your neckline. So we'll just go ahead and sew. As you can see, just left a little gap where we will put our elastic through. Now our next step will be to hem the bottom of the blouse, and to mark your pressing line you can choose to put a basting stitch 1/2 inch along the edge of your blouse to give you a bit of a guide about where to press up. Otherwise, if you're confident, please just go ahead and press 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch again, and then we'll go ahead and stitch that bottom hem just like we've done the neckline.